Hi, everybody. Welcome to Snacks with an Expert. I'm Jenna Baggs, the office manager here at Spark Offices. We're a collaborative workspace in the Mills, which is gorgeous space for Snacks with an Expert. We are designed to really bring together people and ideas, which is why we're the proud sponsors of Snacks with an Expert. Today's expert is Brianna White, the personal fashion stylist and creator of Vostra Moda. I probably butchered it, but she's going to explain it to you. She's an established entrepreneur, a business owner, a stylist, a model, and an activist. Her sense of style started when she was just 4 with the contents of her dress-up basket at home. Combine that with her experience as a model and wanting to help others feel their best, voila, Vostra Moda was created. Today, Bri will be teaching us how to meal prep your closet so we can feel the most confident in every outfit choice, reduce our impulse shopping urges, that's a good one, and get our mornings back. Without further ado, Bri White.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me, and thank you everyone for joining today. As Jenna said, my name is Bri White. I am the creator of Vostra Moda, and I'm here to help you with meal prepping for your closet today. So, next slide, please. Do I do it myself?
Look how it should.
There we go. Perfect. Look at this. I'm good at tech, guys. I promise. So today's goal in terms of meal prepping for your closet, I want you guys to have actionable steps to apply to your closet and a starting point so you can begin building a wardrobe that you love every single day. So a little bit about me. As I said, my name is Brianna White. I go by Bri. I'm a personal fashion stylist and I am an intentional wardrobe curator. So contrary to those details of being a fashion stylist and wardrobe curator, I didn't always have such a great relationship when it was considering my wardrobe. But once I started creating a wardrobe with more intention and being more specific about what I was bringing into it and how I wanted to show up and appear in this world, I was simplifying my mornings. I was feeling more put together and everything in my closet started working in harmony again. For me, it was the first step in learning how to really show up for myself and know that I could feel comfortable, confident, and authentically me in my clothing. That's what inspired me to share my creativity and my passion for clothing and show others how to create intentional and versatile wardrobes for themselves and show them how to have fun while doing it. So, meal prepping for your closet. Well, first question really is, what's meal prepping? If you are not familiar with meal prepping is the concept of preparing whole meals or dishes ahead of schedule. It's most popular among those with busy schedules because it can save you a lot of time. It also helps you reduce portion sizes and it helps you reach your goals when it comes to nutrition. And since it requires you to plan ahead, it can lead to more nutritious choices over the long term and helping you to reach those healthy goals. For me, I do this every Sunday, so I know this very well. This is actually one of the things that inspired me when it came to how can I apply this to my closet, which leads into why you should meal prep your closet. So with that same concept of prepping ahead of time, it's going to help you with reducing impulse shopping urges because you're going to be able to actually see what's going on in your closet because you've gone through it ahead of time. You're going to stop wearing items that don't fit you or that you just plain don't like anymore because you'll know what you like to wear and how you prefer to wear them after going through them. And you're going to create more structure in your life and ease in your mornings because you'll be prepared. Because you deserve to spend your mornings doing things other than staring at your closet, or like this image says, battling to close the door to it if you have that many items in it. So when it comes to actually prepping your closet, I have 3 main guidelines to help you with preparing and planning outfits for your week. First of these is to check your calendar. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? The reason why I say this is I want you to check your calendar to see if you have any big events or if you have a dress code that you have to be aware of for this week that you need a boost of confidence for. A pro tip that I have for you is pick an outfit that makes you feel like you can take on the world and plan to wear it for that event. This is also important because if you're doing laundry once a week, you want to make sure that that item is actually available for you and not in the bottom of the laundry. So it might help you with preparing when do we want to do laundry this week. So I have the items I'm looking for to wear to this event. As an example, now these examples can be for anybody from any gender. I'm using female clothing because I tend to have mostly female clothing that I can use as examples. But as an example, say you have a client meeting on Wednesday morning and you're meeting with friends for dinner the same night. You want to feel confident and put together for your clients, but you also want to feel comfortable and fun for going out with your friends. And you don't want to go through an entire outfit change to do that. If you choose an outfit that does both for you, and all you need to do is say, change out the jacket or the shoes, it's going to create more ease for your schedule, and you've planned ahead of time to know what to bring. If it's as simple as, I'm going to wear a blazer to meet with my client, but I'll have the sweater that I'll wear out to dinner with friends. Maybe wear some flats, wear heels. Again, depending on your gender and what you prefer to dress with, switch out what you would like to for the appropriate occasion that you are dressing for. The second tip that I have is dressing for the weather. Again, sounds pretty straightforward, but it helps when you're planning ahead of time. Check the weather for the week and make sure that you're going to be warm enough or cool enough depending on the day. Especially in New England, we are prone to have 30-degree mornings and 70-degree afternoons, or sun in the morning and rain and hail in the afternoons, as we saw last weekend. So you're never quite sure what to expect. So being able to, pro tip, utilize layers when you're putting an outfit together is going to help you to feel like you're always prepared, regardless of what the weather is going to be or the environment you're going to be in. As an example, if the weather is warm outside, but you're not going to be in an office and the AC is going to be blasting, keep those layers in mind. Go with a lighter material like a linen pant and a linen top, and then wear the blazer over it. If it's so cold under the AC, have a merino wool sweater on hand. It's lightweight, it absorbs any moisture. So if you do end up sweating because that collar just got really tense, it's going to absorb that for you, so you don't have to worry about it. But it's going to keep you warm and still feeling put together because everything is going together and you planned it ahead of time. You're not just throwing on, what do I have around sitting on the back of my chair in my office that I can throw on right now? I don't really feel put together for this Zoom call. But it'll be layers that are light enough so you're cool enough to go for lunch outside, but warm enough when you're working at your desk. The third tip that I have is putting your outfits together on the same hanger or hanging the items next to each other in your closet so you can pull out a single outfit morning of. You're not going through, pushing all of the hangers aside, wondering, did I actually put it back, or did it get put in a different place, or did my spouse move this on me, or is it in the laundry basket after all? Because everything is organized by day. Pro tip, organize your closet by season to help you limit overwhelm and decision fatigue. So when I say organize by season, what I mean is look at your closet right now. Do you have every single season's item in there, including those summer shorts and then those heavy duty winter sweaters? Probably doesn't make sense once you get into summer to have the winter sweaters in there because you know you're not going to be wearing them anytime soon, and they're taking up space. And they're also taking up a little mental space, and they might be overwhelming when you're trying to make decisions because you see them, but you're not using them right now. So if you organize and have the available season right in front of you, it's going to be easier to make choices and put your outfits together. So for example, didn't really have a closet that I could show here. I guess I could show it right here though. But you can organize each look by each day of the week in your closet or whatever makes sense for you. So I have my Monday through Friday looks, some of them using the same articles like blazers that you might be using over again, or shoes, keeping those things in a section of your closet that's easy to access. And you know, you're just going from one side to the other. This is what I'm wearing. All the pieces are put together. But for even more organization, my bonus tip for today, a great way that you can stay organized and create a wardrobe where all the items work in harmony together is to choose a color palette for your season. There's a couple ways to do this depending on your preference, but I suggest choose a number for each of these categories: a neutral, a color, and pattern. And then you can mix and match to your heart's content. So in all the examples I showed of the looks here, these were the colors that I used. I chose 3 neutrals, black, white, and brown. I chose 3 colors, green, blue, and yellow, and I chose 3 patterns: stripes, polka dots, and leopard print. But you can choose any number that you want in any category. In fact, I have the example right behind me from my own closet where I did the same thing. So my color scheme for this was 2 neutrals and 1 color. I chose green as my color, and my 2 neutrals are black and white. For my print, I only chose 1, which was a floral, but it includes all of the colors that I'm looking for within my color scheme. The goal with being able to do this, every single item on here can be paired with the other items in it. I have so many outfits out of just 10 items right here. I even made sure that the shoes that I'm choosing are going to be complementary to the items that I'm picking, whether it's a pattern, a texture, a color, and they're complementing each other. So I don't even have to think about it. I just go top, bottom, good to go. So outfitting yourself. To summarize, when you're putting outfits together for the week, use the following tips to create a system and meal prep your closet. Check for upcoming events in your calendar. Dress for the weather by looking at the forecast ahead of time and preparing with the right layers for your location and preferences. Put your outfit on the same hanger or put the items next to each other for your week. so it's easy to grab your outfit of the day and go. And as a bonus tip, to simplify things even further for yourself, choose a color palette for your wardrobe each season, including neutrals, colors, and patterns, and then you can mix and match them as you please. Remember, fashion changes, but style is always yours, because clothing is more than just a functional aspect of our lives. It opens ways to express your personality, build authentic relationships, empower yourself to show up, create momentum, change and impact, and connect. As I was saying, fashion changes, but style is always yours. And it's for more than just the functional aspects of our lives. It allows us to do a number of things. However, if you're constantly struggling to sort, sift, shop, and you feel overwhelmed the moment that you're opening your closet, it sounds like you could use some style support. So Vostra Moda is intentional styling. That's what I do. I create intention and I curate something that makes sense for you. So every item you have is something that you love and not, meh, it's okay. Because the goal is dress a way that makes you feel excited, that allows you to connect with people around you and put your best self out there. Imagine the possibilities and allow yourself the opportunity to pursue that leveled up version of yourself. Whatever your goals are, they always start with an idea, a desire, and a dream of who you want to be and how you want to start now. You can take that first step from visualizing your leveled up self to dressing as them when you work with a personal stylist. So Vostra Moda offers style support calls. I offer free 30-minute calls to give you guidance on what your style needs are and discover how professional styling can help you unlock your confidence. So what's the benefit of having one of these calls with me? First of all, it's free. Second of all, you can gain clarity on what your current relationship is with clothing. A lot of people have a negative relationship, or they've heard all their life, you can't wear that color. And because of that, they never even try. And there's so many different shades out there in the world that you could try. Why hold yourself back? You'll figure out how you feel about your wardrobe and how you'd like to feel about it. And then what actions you can start taking today so you can start building that positive relationship and feel like you're putting your best self out there. So if you're ready to level up your wardrobe, I have a QR code that is not scannable on the screen right now, but I've got it over here. So yay, I have it printed. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. You can find more from me at vostramoda.com/connect. You can always feel free to send me an email at hellobri@vostramoda.com. And the floor is open for any questions that you guys have. I'm happy to answer them. Yes. Sure.
It's a little personal, but I feel like I'm gonna say so.
Yeah, for sure.
Share. As our weights fluctuate,
Mm-hmm.
maybe just like 5 pounds or 10 pounds, and you have those jeans that you really love,
Yep.
that don't fit you,
Mhm.
and they're at the bottom.
Yep.
You don't really want to purge them out,
Mhm.
because you're hoping maybe
Yep.
you make some better choices.
Right.
Chris, I've done better choices,
Mhm.
and that's me. And then how do you deal with your drop when it's like that?
Mhm. So great question. There's a couple of things you can do with that, especially if you notice yourself that you're putting them at the bottom. You're not choosing them every day. They don't fit and they don't feel right. Put them away for next season. So again, if you're taking stuff out of your closet and you're focusing on what am I wearing right now in this season, that's the stuff that currently fits, that you like, that you know fits well, and that you're going to be using regularly. If those items don't fit right now, but you have the goal that you want to be able to fit into them, put them somewhere else. They're out of sight, out of mind, and they're no longer guilt attached to it. Because that's a big thing for people. A lot of people have shame or guilt around letting go of clothing, whether it's because it has tags on it, still they never wore it, they paid full price for something, or this used to fit and now it doesn't. You never want to actually feel shame about that, because the clothing is here to enhance your life, not to hold you back. So you can put it into a different area until the next season when you're ready to come back to that goal and see, okay, these were the goals I had for this season, was to work on these areas. Do these fit now? And I would say if within 9 months or so, they're not fitting where you want them to, maybe it's time to let them go. Focus on what you wear right now, what is fitting you, what you actually like for your current body. And you may notice that all of a sudden when you're feeling good and you're showing up for yourself, all of a sudden things start fitting in a different way. And then you start making better choices in your life because you feel good and because you're noticing this positive reaction to the action that you've taken. And the other thing is, when you get to a point, if you have a lofty goal, for example, of like, I want to lose X amount and by this date, say that you reach that goal. Do you want to wear something from 10 years ago when maybe there's a new item that you could replace it with instead? So that's the other thing is you can put it away for a season or two until you feel like I have time to come back to it and reconvene at another point in my life, or allow yourself to level up and dress for current you. That's always my main thing is you have to get dressed for today. You can have goals for tomorrow and that's awesome. And that's the inspiration you can work towards, but you still have to put clothes on today unless you live in a nudist colony.
That's a good question.
That was a great question.
I do agree about that last part that you.
The nudist colony?
Because I did go
Yeah.
to.
Are we still in the safe zone?
We're in a safe zone.
Okay, good, okay.
I just wanted to experienced that with my
Mhm.
wife, which was very beautiful. And
Mhm,
it was like, I think maybe, I could be the beach and an umbrella guy.
There you go.
at that place, like,
Just hang out.
something that would be interesting. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so on a serious note, I really like what you had mentioned about the jeans, because I have this is my personal problem. I'm not asking for a friend.
Right.
So the thing is that these jeans came from Denmark
Mm,
and I bought them there. They mean a lot to me.
Right.
But I was a lot smaller
Mhm.
then. So I was actually thinking, because your tip's really good, that I could actually put them downstairs in a box that says, you reached your goal.
Yeah.
Open up.
Could be your Christmas present to
Something like
yourself
that,
or
right? It would be
something.
fun.
You could have it as a birthday or a Christmas present to
Yeah,
yourself,
like a-
depending on how
like
far
a
out that
present to
is.
yourself, like that. Okay, so the next question.
Yes.
Well, This is the. Okay.
You're the
So,
middle of the story.
so the next question, how do you get rid of your favorite shirts that have stains on
Mhm. Yeah,
them?
it's hard.
Is that what you were gonna ask? No, t-shirts are like dress shirts.
No,
Or
you
like
like
the golf
silky
shirts.
shirts that
Oh,
are
the
so
nice ones?
comfortable for
Mhm.
fishing and everyday use, but they somehow get stains on them from, I don't
When I
know.
find a good shirt, I go back and buy a bunch of them.
See, she's got the road check, like
Mhm.
3 or 4 of them. from
But you have
St.
to know
Martin.
you love it before
Right.
it leaves the store.
Exactly. So there's a couple things. You can try a couple of different like stain removal techniques because there's a number out there that you can try for different things. It's not always just a stain stick. Like there's different techniques depending on if it's blood, chocolate, wine, like there's so many different things that have stain removal processes that are going to counteract whatever is on it. So trying that first is always an option. Bringing it to a dry cleaner if it's really that important to you and seeing if they can help you with it. And if not, do you love it enough that it's worth wearing with a stain? Like, is it something that you're like, maybe I don't want to wear it for like these put together professional environments, but going out fishing, hanging out around the house with your friends or something, if it's that important to you, ask yourself, do I feel good in this? Can I look past the stain because I feel so good in it and my confidence and my personality go beyond the stain? Then why not?
Good, I don't know.
So
Great question. Next question.
Yeah. So my closet has the, like the sweatshirts and the sweaters and
Yep.
the dress pants and jeans and golf
The
shirts
combo,
and
yep.
And then it's like one big closet
Yep.
space. But I don't feel like I think it gets confusing.
Yes.
And I don't have the shoes in the same space.
Mhm.
So is that what you recommend then? It's like clearing out like the hoodies and the sweaters to make room for the golf shirts and all that? Or
I'd say, depending on what you, yeah, I'd say depending on what you use most,
Yeah.
those are the things that should be like forefront. So whether it's like you go into one side of your closet and that's where you go the most, that should be the stuff that's right there in front of you. So that's where you're pulling from. If you still use things like the hoodies regularly, but they're not part of your day-to-day wear, those can go in a side closet, or you can put them in, like they have like the 9 cubes at, Target and stuff, and you can get the fabric cubes, fold them up and put them in there. They're easy to access still, but they're not directly in sight feeling like, oh, I feel like I'm dressing like a schlub because I've got 20 sweatshirts and 2 dress shirts, but I want to dress better. So choose your favorite ones that you feel are going to work best for you every single day. And the other ones that you still want to wear, but aren't necessarily day-to-day wear, those can go again, somewhere that's out of sight, but it doesn't have to be locked away in the attic or the basement until next season. And then for shoes, for me personally, I have a very small closet and I don't have enough room to put shoes, which is ironic. As a personal stylist, you think I have like all this room. I don't actually. I have under 100 articles of clothing. And I have under 20 pairs of shoes, which I feel like people are like, you're a stylist though. How does that work? And I'm like, I don't have room for it. So I have one of those hanging like shoe racks over the back of my door. which again, I can keep the door open and I'm not looking at it constantly, but that's where I can store the majority of my things that I'm not wearing every day. The stuff that I'm wearing every day, it stays in the shoe cabinet next to the door. So that way I'm pulling it out easily. Or if I have like a display item, like my sparkly shoes that I only wear for special events, but they're pretty and they make a good decoration, they become a decoration until I need them. So for things like that, you could either do, again, the cubes work well too. For any of the open cubes that don't have the fabric in them, you can put shoes in there. You can stack them in your closet. They've got the like 2 levels that you can do shoes in the bottom of the closet if you have space for it, or any number of like shoe rack options or over the door hangers. Does that help?
Yeah. It's good to know.
Perfect.
Awesome. I think we have some online questions too.
Awesome.
One in the chat here.
Hi, Lindsay. Yes, I think your closet is organized by type to make it easier to grab. I agree. That's another great way of doing it is when you organize your closet by the type of articles or by color, it's easier to do it that way. You can have like, here's my shirts, here's my pants, here's my jackets. And that way, you know how you're organizing in that way and what you're grabbing if you're not planning on doing outfits by the day. Or you could even do it like most of your closet is organized in that way. And then you just pull out the outfits and put those again wherever you're going into the closet to grab for the day. So it's easier and you don't have to go pushing through everything.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Sam, do you have any questions?
I do. What are some of the staple pieces that you usually recommend to people, to have in your wardrobe?
I think that's a great question. So staple pieces that I recommend are some sort of neutral t-shirt, be it black, white, gray, something that's a good neutral because it will go with anything. And when I say t-shirt, I mean like if you can find a good quality t-shirt, especially for white t-shirts, I feel like a lot of people will realize whether it's good quality or not if it's transparent. Not usually great quality if it's a transparent shirt, especially challenging for women who are not looking to show everything off at the right underneath the shirt. But I would say getting a white, black, or gray t-shirt because it can go with a number of things. You can dress it up or dress it down. I always say a good pair of dark wash jeans because again, they're casual enough that you can wear it when you're hanging out in the backyard with friends, but you can dress it up with a pair of nice shoes and a blazer really easily. And you can go to like a office casual look or like, depending on like your casual Fridays, it's still fancy enough for that. So dark wash jeans, a good t-shirt, and then a blazer or jacket that fits you really well. Because again, all of those things together work really well, but as separate pieces, they can accent anything else you have in your wardrobe and dress it up or dress it down. You could wear the blazer with a pair of ripped shorts and a pair of flip-flops, and it would give it an interesting and unique style. You could wear the jeans with a button-up shirt and a pair of Oxfords, and it would look sharp. And you could wear the t-shirt with a maxi skirt or a pair of slacks, and you're ready to go to drinks at the end of the day from the office. So I think those are probably my like main staples that I recommend to people.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Following up on that, what about like main staples or versatile like accessories? So
Yeah.
similar to
Scarves.
that. Yeah. Oh,
Scarves are my number one recommendation for accessories because they work for men and women. And really like you can use it for any number of things. I like to say like the scarf is the be all end all because you wear it as a scarf. You can wear it in your hair or over your head. You can wear it as a belt, honestly, or an accent piece. You can tie it into a top if you really want to, or a skirt. There's a number of things that you can do with a scarf. So I think that is a great accessory. And again, if you're looking at color palettes for your wardrobe, choosing something that's either in the color palette or in a pattern that you think would accent and go well. Like if I had either a green, white, or a black scarf or a floral print similar to this, I could wear with any of the things that are currently here. So finding something that you feel goes well and that you enjoy wearing is the other important thing. Is making sure you're actually going to wear it. But that's a great question too. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm looking for recommendations of where you like to shop. So
Yeah.
if we find quality stuff that
Mhm.
isn't ridiculously expensive.
Yeah. My favorite places to shop are consignment stores. So thrift stores are great. Consignment stores are, I believe, a step up from that because they do go through the merchandise before they'll put it on their racks and make sure that the quality is still good. There's no stains on it, no rips, no tears. And a lot of times because people are investing and looking to get a credit back for it, it is of this higher scale and better quality and it's been taken care of. Even if it has been lightly loved, it's been better taken care of. And you'll find a number of consignment stores now do designer items, and they'll have like an entire section of their store that's like, we have these designer consigned items. So if you're looking for something that you're like, you know, I'd love to have a Chanel purse just because it's fun and I like the style of it, check out a consignment store and see what they have for designer options, because it's going to be a lot less expensive than buying it new from a brand name store like that.
Any local ones that you
Yes.
recommend?
Highly recommend Mother and Child. It's wonderful. They have a designer section now as
I
well.
usually go for my son, but I.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing is, so they have a lot of options. And the downside that I've found in a lot of stores, especially consignment stores, is the men's section is extremely small. Like if there is a rack, you're lucky. Mother and Child does have a room for menswear now, which is wonderful because, you know, my wife prefers to dress in men's clothing because the style is more flattering for how she feels and how she wants to appear. So going through a store that's 75% women is not going to be helpful for her. But if I go through there and I'm like, I have a couple things that you could try and see how you like, and they're not going to be super expensive, when she's someone who does not like shopping and would love to just live in a nudist colony instead, so you don't have to worry about it, it's a win-win for both of us in that case. So that's my recommendation for a local. I really love them. Chic Boutique is another one in Bedford that, again, they tend to have more designer stuff than Mother and Child. It tends to be a little more variety. Yes, a little more range in it versus Chic Boutique has more designer and luxury items. But again, they still have things that are not going to be as expensive as going to the retailer itself. So yeah, great question. Yes, for sure. I'm actually taking a client Saturday.
For like, if it's gonna, so, an example, and I think this is just me being a pack rat, but it worked out. But is there a hard and fast rule about keeping things for a certain amount of time? Like jeans from Denmark.
Mhm.
I have a pair of jeans that I thrifted in high school,
Mhm.
and that was 2 years ago. And
Just a couple.
my 20-year-old daughter just took them out of my closet and took them back to New York.
Yeah,
It's-
absolutely do.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, they definitely have more.
You hold on to it long
More
enough,
fading
it's
to
in
it.
style.
Exactly. Yeah, I think
So what's so cool about that?
there is no rule.
Okay.
Honestly, it's if you love something, if it still fits and you still wear it regularly,
Yeah.
then why not
It
keep
fits
it?
differently than it did.
And
in
that's
high school,
okay.
but it still fits and I
If it still fits and you still feel good in it,
Yeah.
why not keep it? My mom has given me plenty of dresses when she was my age that I wear. I got her wedding dress and had it updated so I could wear it to my own wedding. So it's like, why not reuse the things when they're still in good condition? Again, that's the downside of fast fashion. It's fast. It's meant to be worn for a season, which is also why it doesn't last more than a season typically, because the quality isn't as good. When you have things that are a higher made quality and you invest in them a little more, you're also investing in that time. So a lot of stuff that people are like, oh, these vintage pieces or things that I had from high school, they were better made. They had more care put into them because fast fashion wasn't as rampant at the time. And because of that, you're going to be able to get more use out of it, especially if you're taking care of it. So that's the other thing is if you have items that are older, find out what the material is and how you can best take care of it so it will last longer. But yeah, there's no rule about, oh, it's 10 years old, you have to chuck it now. Absolutely not. Otherwise, there'd be just piles of clothes everywhere.
The color, what is it for the best color to go?
And that depends on your preference and also some color psychology goes into it a little bit too, of how you want to see yourself and how other people see you. So-
The black jean, I said the neutrals.
Yeah.
I never can understand the best ways of it.
anything that you want, honestly, you could do a red, you could do a salmon, you could do an orange,
Really?
you could do a green.
I was
Salmon,
thinking-
salmon.
I was- with black-
You
I was
could 100% do a
thinking
salmon.
black.
Salmon with black pants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And that's the thing is, again, when you have a neutral base, you can try any number of colors and it's going to complement it because you're focusing on one color and it doesn't feel too overwhelming. So have fun with it and experiment and just try things on and see what you like.
Blew my mind, 'cause I just thought.
That's what I'm here to do.
Definitely blue or definitely black.
No.
That's great.
No.
It's exciting.
See, that's the fun with clothing is it's meant to have fun with, you know?
Yeah.
You go outside of the box and find what works best for you or what you enjoy and just run with it. And that's a lot of what I do is helping people to think outside the box and go, what do you really want to try? That everyone's like, oh no, that's too wild. Why not try it? And if you love it, wear it.
If
And
you're
it-
confident in it, it's no longer too wild, right?
Exactly. And that's why there are people out there who, when they can wear leopard print pattern with striped patterns, it works. And some people are like, well, I could never do that. I don't understand how it works. It's because they're not letting the clothes wear them. They're wearing the clothes. So it's finding the things that you really enjoy and that make you feel good and just owning it. That's a big part of it. So there's a lot of mindset that goes into clothing. There is some like structure and architecture that helps when it comes to the shape that you're looking to accentuate, but a lot of it comes down to mindset and how you feel and stuff. Yeah.
Did you put your earrings and your necklace to complement each other?
Yes.
It
I
is
did.
very pretty.
And then I did a very small pop of color on the top of my ear, just a little something, because I have my little pop of color on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
I like details.
We've all been.
Other than I'm looking for a stand-up place next.
Yeah.
There we go.
I feel like
No, I mean, I'm really.
Investing.
I grew up with all boys, and so I feel like this is exactly what we talk about when like the boys aren't around. So I'm like getting a
Sometimes.
whole education and I have no
That's
idea.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear it.
So you mentioned fast fashion.
Yeah.
So would you ever recommend, like, that would be a, maybe your quick pattern for a season?
Mhm.
Could be a fast fashion.
I think
type thing?
That's a great option. Someone who is currently going through a transition, whether it's they just had a baby or they are losing or gaining weight, and they're like, I don't want to invest a ton of money because I know that this change is happening with my body right now. But again, you need to get dressed for today. So if you don't want to spend a ton of money, you can always check out thrift stores or consignment stores, or you can check out some of those fast fashion brands that really this is going to last me for the next year. I can do things to take care of it in case, something happens, but it's the stuff that like this is how I want to dress every day and it fits my body and I'm not planning on having any of these big changes happening, that you invest in the quality items for.
You mentioned like maintaining stuff for cleaning. How often should like things be cleaned, jeans or like sweaters and stuff?
Great question. And it depends on the material. So things like merino wool can go many days without being washed technically, because they are just the microfiber of it is made in such a way that it doesn't hold the bacteria, which is why a lot of people wear it when they're traveling, because if they're sweating and moving around and hiking and stuff, it doesn't smell, which is wonderful. And then you only have to wash it a couple of times when you're out. So especially if someone has to hand wash it because they're traveling, it comes in really handy. Jeans, you can wait like 7 days. Technically, you can wear them all 7 days before you wash them. I say that when they start losing their shape or they feel a little baggy, that's usually a good sign that it's time to wash them. But you'll notice, depending on the quality of the jean, which ones will actually last the full 7 days and which ones after 2 days start feeling baggy because they might have an elastic blend in them. It's like more elastic than it is jean quality. And then they lose the shape because of that. So there's a number of things depending on what your item is in the material. You can always check and see like what's the recommendation for washing, drying care, and then how long can I go without washing this? But yeah, great question. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. I love what I'm wearing too. Any other questions?
Like your seasonal colors.
Thank you. Yeah, and I usually, for me personally, I notice that I wear different colors depending on the seasons. Just naturally, not that I necessarily choose to do that. I've just noticed that's what I gravitate towards. So I try to use that to my benefit. So especially in the winter, I find myself doing more monochrome colors. Like I wear a lot of grays and blacks and whites, but then I always have like pops of red in there. And I think because partly from Christmas and partly because it works really well as a contrast to all of the monochrome. And it's a good pop for, the colder winter weather. And then in the summers, I like more muted tones, things like greens or blues. Just make me thinking of being outside and by the water. So I think that's probably why. And then in spring, all of a sudden I find I'm more drawn to florals because I think, again, we're inspired by what we see around us a lot of times. So that can be a big indicator of what you actually want to be wearing or how you want to be showing up or what's going to be more comfortable and exciting to you.
Mid-seasons here in England,
Yeah.
as there's not really a, so what, is there some overlap, like as you,
There's a huge
Yes.
overlap.
as I do my closet, like with the lighter clothes and the heavy winter clothes.
Yep.
And I always have this time period in between when I'm like, I
Mhm.
don't know which one to go with.
Yep.
And then I know you talked about layering, but how do transitions sort of, is there a transitional set of?
Yes.
clothing?
Yeah, so I like to recommend like having a transitional set of a wardrobe because like right now, technically, even though it's spring, this is that transition period where it's literally 30 degrees in the morning and then it goes up to 70 and it's rainy and humid. So it doesn't make sense for me to put away like my heavy sweatshirt and even my winter coat when I'm walking the dog in the morning, but by the afternoon, I'm ready to put shorts on in my apartment because it's so warm in there. So for those types of stages where it's the in-between, you know that you're not gonna have a snowstorm, hopefully, in April. It's happened before, so I'm not gonna say it's never gonna happen, but you probably don't need like the snowsuit or the super heavy winter sweaters. Those types of items you can start putting away, but things like the lighter layers, the lighter sweaters that you could layer over things, keep out one or two things like, you know, maybe keep out the heavier coat. So that way you have something you can throw on over if it ends up being chillier outside. Keep a scarf out because again, whether it's you're wrapping around your neck, you want to wrap it underneath your shoulders, underneath the coat, just for that extra added layer of warmth. There's a number of ways you can do that. And then same thing, like from summer to fall, you'll also find that, again, it's starting to get cooler in the mornings, but then it's still 90 degrees in the afternoon. So don't put the shorts away, but don't necessarily pull out all of the winter gear yet. Find the stuff that's going to work well that you can layer over each other. And that way, when it starts out cold in the morning, you can take the layers off throughout the day and be comfortable. So that's usually my recommendation is you can start transitioning some of the items out slowly. And then there's a certain point where it's like 2 weeks of consistent weather and you're like, okay, it's finally time I can actually put like the winter stuff away and maybe the shovel comes out of the car. Maybe, if it's July.
I think my show will be around.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So like transitioning from like your nice thick turtleneck sweater to
Right.
a cardigan, so they have the layer.
Exactly.
and not the-
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you guys so much. Your questions were amazing and I really appreciate all of your time today. So thank you guys.
Thank you.